So welcome back. We have another presentation and the title is Unveiling the Unequal Access to English Language Teaching Among Private and Public Secondary Schools of Copiapó. Today is presenting Cristina Ibarbe González from Universidad de Atacama. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Thanks to be here. My name is Cristina Ibarbe from Universidad de Atacama, and today I'll be presenting this research in collaboration with my colleagues, Dr. Elizabeth Torrico Avila, René Schreiber, Susana Ralph, and Fabiola Pacheco. I'm sorry. Okay. This study is composed of 40 English teachers from the province of Copiapó, including Tierra Amarilla. And it goes deeper into the problem of unequal access in ELT, which affects Chilean students nationwide. Based on English policies, national evaluation, and the results of them, this research problematizes these results and aims not only to unveiling this gap, but also by providing suggestions on how to narrow it. So let's start with theoretical framework. To make this study as complete as possible, it has been analyzed the previous literature based on different authors, such as Menard, Warwick, Matear, Bird, and McKay. By doing so, there are 6 different subcategories to understand the real conditions and factors that led or caused the unequal access in ELT among both institutions. So let's see methodological framework. The main question that led this research was if these Chilean educational policies supposedly ensure equal access to ELT for every student, why is there still unequal access among the private and public secondary schools of Copiapó? So here, by the way, a proof of this can be the English SIMSA results that show big differences. Okay, after this, the problem of the research was established as unequal access to English language learning in secondary schools of the province of Copiapó. And the objectives were divided into general and specific. For general objectives, we have unveiled the unequal access to English language learning among public and private secondary schools of the province, while the specific objectives are divided in 3. The number 1 is examine how economic factors might impact ELT in public and private secondary schools of the province. Number 2, examine English language teacher responses regarding unequal teaching among private and public secondary schools. And finally, the number 3 is provide a teaching proposal delineated by local teachers to narrow down the ELT differences among both institutions in the province. To achieve those objectives, the general and the specific, it was necessary to set the following questions. For general objectives, why are the differences in English language proficiency between students from both institutions? While the specific objectives, the questions are, what are the differences regarding the teaching of English among both institutions that are associated with economic access to education? For specific number 2, which are the teaching strategies and activities employed by the English teachers of the province to give their lessons? And finally, for specific number 3, what does an English teacher need to make the ELT access as equal as possible for every student? In this context, the chosen design was a mixed method because of the characteristics to enrich a better understanding of the context. So let's see I'm sorry, let's move to results and discussions. To understand this, we have to keep in mind that this is a mixed method and using a triangulation method. So as you can see here, we have the triangulation method, which is composed of government documents, minute documents, and also a questionnaire results. Here we have the quantitative data, qualitative data, and the questionnaire data. Okay, let's move here. Here we have a comparison between English hours in the public and private sector. As you can see, we have public schools of the province of Copiapó, Liceo Palomar, Tecnológico, Mercedes Priti, Maquiney, José Antonio Carvajal, Colegio Buen Pastor, Liceo de Música, y el Instituto Comercial Alejandro Rivera Díaz. Okay, they said English as something specific and established from 5th to 6th grade. But under those levels, it's just optional in the public sector, while the private schools, for example, Colegio Almenar, they spread English from first to secondary school. So as you can see, we have the differences in the weekly hours and annual hours. For example, in weekly hours, in the public sector, we have only 3 hours. And annual hours, we have 114 hours. While the private sectors, we have 8 weekly hours and 304 annual hours. Okay, now we have the SIMSE English results. As you can see, Atacama in level B1 just at 10%, level E2 at 10.5%, and here we have the results according to CEFR in 2004. According to the socioeconomic groups, we have, public schools and private schools. As you can see, the certificates in municipal institutions are lower than in the private sectors. They have a higher level, certificated 84%, while the municipal in the lower level, just 1%. I'm sorry. Okay. So now we have the proposal. The proposal was said thanks to the responses of English teachers of the province. Okay. Here, some of the proposals indicates that to decrease this unequal access to education, it was necessary to motivate students to believe in themselves, while motivate the families of these students, and also, thanks to this research and the support of English teachers of the province, it was possible to give some proposals to label this unequal access. Another proposal was to communicate strategies and try to change students' family mindset. Another option that could complement could be apply TPR and natural approach in use of ICT in our lessons. It is necessary to encourage parents' participatory attitudes in order to support students in their process. Also, it is so important and so necessary to include didactic classes and interactions between public and private secondary schools, for example, by implementing song festivals, talent shows, spelling bee, public speakings, social work, and work in community projects. It could be a good idea to label these differences between both institutions. Some of the responses indicate that it is fundamental to provide more hours of English classes, But in the same line, it's difficult to change the curriculum to level these hours from just from the point of a teacher. It is not possible that a teacher, only the teacher, increase these hours. It is teamwork. A teacher cannot improve the English hours, but it is necessary. The responses says that it is necessary to increase these hours. And opted for English proposal given by Minedu. It means that the public schools should opt in by, I'm sorry. Okay, the responses opting by, I'm sorry. The proposal says that private schools are spreading English classes from higher, lower levels, but the municipal schools should opt in for Minedu proposal that says from first grade the teachers could implement English in the classes, and in this way the gap between between private and public schools could decrease in this way. Okay, let me change it. As you can see here, there is a summary of those proposals to motivate students to believe in equality education opportunity. It is so important because they know that there is a barrier between both institutions. And as a conclusion of this research, this study filled the gap of information regarding the topic of unequal access to ELT in the province of Copiapó, including Tierra Amarilla. However, more research could be done to identify other possible factors that persist in English education, specifically in secondary schools, regarding this topic in Atacama region, and also how to contribute to equal ELT based on the teachers' and students' responses and experiences. Because in this time, we just apply teachers' responses, but it is important to include students in this process. It could also encompass a comparison between provinces or even other regions of our country. And the limitation of this research was the COVID, the COVID, because we have only the opportunity to compare the responses in an online questionnaire. So it is not as complete as we could make in a in a different way with no pandemic present in this process. So thanks for your attention. This has been my presentation.
Thank you very much, Cristina. So we now leave the room open for questions and comments on the chat, or you can just raise your virtual hand.